So in 2011, my son Justin, so he was 19 at the time. In 2011, right around Thanksgiving, he was. We didn't know what symptoms were leading up to the point where we ended up in the emergency room. He had some back pain and some other things. He had helped his mom move. So he was living with me. He and his twin brother were living with my wife and I. But like he had helped his mom move, thought he pulled a muscle because his back hurt really bad, went to the doctor, told the doctor his back hurt. Fortunately, our doctor had been their doctor since they were about 2 years old. So even though he couldn't figure it out, he wanted to be thorough and had scheduled a scan for him. But we didn't get the scan was actually the next day, the night before. He had some really bad back pain. My wife is a nurse and just kind of, checked his breathing. His breathing was a little labored, and she's like, we're going to the hospital. Right. So we called family and stuff, and we met at the hospital, and they took him in there. He was 19, so he was, an adult as far as the hospital is concerned. Right. So all of us leave the room, talk to him, and then bring us back in the room after they've talked to him. So that's when we found out that he had advanced stage testicular cancer. So he had, it's what they call stage 3C. It used to be called stage 4. Okay. So it had spread to different parts of his body at that point. Had a surgery the next day, removed the tumor. And then they started to plan for how they were going to attack the rest of the tumors. Yeah. Over the next week, he actually we had to rush him back to the hospital because he lost feeling in his legs because he had a tumor on his spinal cord, which compressed his spinal cord. Wow. So back to the hospital. And that's where we ended up downtown at Barrows at St. Joe's.
So this was back and forth over a period of time.
This whole part of the story took place in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So diagnosis.
I mean, it was pretty quick. Diagnosis, surgery, complications.
Yep. Fast forward through, he went through chemotherapy, radiation, had another surgery, was actually starting to walk again. So he had a walker and a cane and that type of stuff. Come about June. So this all started in November of 2011. June of 2012 is when the cancer came back more aggressively. Okay. We actually reached out to Dr. Einhorn in Indiana, who was Lance Armstrong's doctor, probably the most famous case of testicular cancer people know of. Right. And he's the one that actually, after looking at everything, was the one that had to tell us that it was terminal. So in August 20th of 2012 is when Justin passed away. So about 9 months from diagnosis to when he died from the disease. Wow. So I reached out.
Sorry for your loss too, Michael.
Thank you. I do appreciate that.
And it's never easy to lose a child, and it's always a tragedy. So
not something I would wish on anybody. That's for sure.
No.
So I reached out actually right after he passed away because we wanted to do something because we didn't know that it could strike a 19-year-old, much less the 15-year-old.
Right.
The most common cancer in men age 15 to 40. So
that is surprising.
Very, very.
Yeah.
So I found an organization that we decided, even when we did his celebration of life, we didn't want people to bring flowers and stuff like that. We found an organization and said, hey, donate money here because they're spreading education and awareness in this age group. So that's where I found the Testicular Cancer Awareness Foundation.
Okay.
Talked to a wonderful lady there who runs the organization. Her son was diagnosed when he was 13. and he actually for 7 years had beat the disease, and his came back 7 years later, and he within the past year or so passed away.
Hmm.
So I got involved after, I told her I wanted to get involved. She didn't really pressure me. She's like, whenever you're ready. I know what, you're dealing with. So whenever you're ready. So probably 6 months or so later, I got back in touch, and I started going out to like high schools and stuff. I would talk to health classes to the boys, let them know what's going on for the schools that thought it was okay. And it's a hard sell to
Right.
say, I'm going to talk about this.
Not always easy.
No. And wanted to come up with something else to do to raise money. And being a local musician, I played in some bands around town, and was very, I've got a lot of friends in the local scene here. So a couple of years ago, I'm like, hey, why don't I combine the two things? So I came up with Balls-A-Palooza.
And that age group does have a tendency to gravitate toward music at times.
Exactly. So, so put it together.
Brilliant idea, Michael. A brilliant idea.
Yeah, and it was funny because I couldn't think of what to name it, and then I was driving down the road, and they were talking about the actual Lollapalooza Music Festival, and then in my head, all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, it rhymes. Why am I not doing Balls-A-Palooza? So,
so appropriate.
Yes.
So appropriate.
Yes.
When I saw that and Lori shared it with me, it triggered an emotion, and I wanted to reach out to you and do something, and any small step in the right direction can move mountains if you do it over and over again, right?
Absolutely.
So anything that we can do. So this event happens this Saturday from 3 to midnight.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about the event and what people can expect, or what they should anticipate, or how can we, who is it for? Can anyone attend? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody can attend. We've worked it out with the venue itself, that really it can be, as long as they have an adult with them, it can be an all ages event. Because, my kids, I have some younger kids too, and they want to be there. So, but anybody can attend 3 to midnight. The venue itself is really cool. They've got an inside stage where I'm going to have like main stage acts, and then they've got an outside patio. So I've got music set up out there. So it's really going to be nonstop music for 9 hours.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Now, is this, are the musicians and the bands that are in attendance here today, are they local bands that have contributed their music, or is this going to be a fundraiser, and they're going to be able to put out their albums or their material or marketing, or what is the relationship between you and the bands?
So I cannot say enough how much I appreciate all the bands. They're all local.
That's
so I wanted to make it a local music festival. They all donate their time to the event. So, bands, a lot of times being in a band, when you played somewhere, you wanted to get paid, some of the door or whatever that is.
I played for years, Michael, so I totally understand.
You feel my pain. So
yeah, I know exactly.
They donate their time and talent to the event, which, I make that pretty clear up front, and everybody is like, we just want to play. We just want to be a part of it. And they actually, because we have merchandise that we sell, so we have shirts. We're going to have a custom shirt this year that's available at the event only.
Okay.
A local t-shirt marketing graphic designer guy who does great work is going to be there printing them on site, which is going to be really cool.
Oh, wow.
So the bands themselves usually, I've never really said they can't do it, but they usually tend to respect the event, and they don't want to take any money away from that. So they just kind of show up, play, encourage their fan base to come out and support the cause. So I can't say enough about how supportive of a music scene we have here in Arizona.
Well, being new to Arizona and Phoenix specifically, I'm not in alignment with the music scene yet. So this is going to be exciting for me to visit and see some of the local talent and experience the music scene in Phoenix. So I'm pretty excited about this.
Cool. I'm glad you're going to be there. You're going to hear some really, really good music.
Yeah. So to recap.
Yep.
Who are you and what do you do and how can people get a hold of you, Michael?
Okay, so I'm Michael. The event is done, say, in memory of my son Justin, so that's how we promote it. But all the money raised goes to the Testicular Cancer Awareness Foundation.
Okay.
So apart from some costs that we have for the event, we donate 100% of what we make to that. I can be found on LinkedIn.
Okay.
If you want to, I can give you my contact information too if people want to get in touch.
I applaud you. I applaud what you're doing, and thank you for being a musician as well and bringing this wonderful music to the crowds. So
yes, and April is actually Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, so it's strategic.
Okay, so be aware of that. We got to make sure that and your voice is heard.
Yes,
and people out there can contribute and join in this Saturday from 3 p.m.
Yes,
to midnight. And where's the location?
It is Last Exit Live, which is downtown Phoenix. So it's I have it right here, 717 South Central Avenue in Phoenix. So it's right downtown by the ballpark and that area. And I do have. I could probably screen share it. I know we got asked a couple times, at least on Lori's post, there's people that don't live in Arizona. They're like, okay, how can I donate? Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm stressed.
I can appreciate that.
But I always am the week before the event. I still have a busy week of just doing other stuff, but I'll be ready for this. So. Well,
I appreciate the fact that you took time to do this and whatever contribution it is, I'm happy to help and appreciate it. Take care, buddy.
You.
Have a good week.
All right. Bye.